Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Hearthstone. So today we have 20 Death Rattle minions that we need to play. And minions, interesting. I played a Death Rattle weapon, I think, and got one of those to work. I didn't realize this quest specified minions. Anyways, and then after we get that done, which probably won't take us but 1 or 2 games, we need to get the 25 remaining warrior class cards, which might be a little bit of a struggle, but not too much. So let's come over here, and Death Rattle is that. Yeah, that's the only Death Rattle I have is a rogue, and we'll just play ranked. And if you've been following my videos lately, I've been playing ranked and sticking very nicely around rank 19. Sometimes I fall down to rank 20, which you can't fall any lower. Sometimes I get as high as rank 18. And that's pretty awful. But it's kind of what I've come to expect and come to know. My decks simply aren't designed to win. I could go to websites out there and get the top meta decks and play the top meta deck enough to probably get up to rank 15 or 14, even at my level of skill, which isn't that great. But that doesn't help me finish the quests, the daily quests, any faster. And that's inherently what I want to do, is spend the least amount of time playing Hearthstone, so I have more time playing other games, which is kind of right now more just down to personal desire than a financial decision for my channel. If anything, I've gotten more views on Hearthstone than anything else, because when I do a special announcement, I usually get hundreds of views on those videos, where every other video gets 2 or 3 of which very possibly are myself. So if I was just going to go financially, I would do all games like Honey Pop that have been getting pretty great views per episode. I would live stream everything, which I don't have the desire to do that for everything. And I would only play games that got people's attention. But that's not what I want to do. I want to cover the games I want to cover. I want to actually have an opinion and a personality, and not just be forever pushed to play the newest games. There's plenty of people out there on YouTube that just play all the new stuff. I just saw Captain Sparkles doing an ad for Lego Worlds, and they made it very clear they're following the FCC guidelines. If you ever need to see what you should do, go look at his Lego Worlds thing. At the beginning, at the top of the screen, in the description, it all said that this is an ad for WB's video game Lego Worlds. Clearly making sure everybody knows it's an ad. Except for, I still kind of feel like it's kind of sucky, because you have Captain Sparkles doing it. And so I still feel like, even with him doing everything possible to say it's an ad, I still kind of feel like some kids are gonna not pay attention to that. But in the end, kids are always not gonna pay attention to something, so I think he did his best. And I expect similar actions for anybody else doing an ad. And so does the FCC recommend that. Moving on with news. Yeah, forgot what I was talking about. Over 10,000 games have been kickstarted. The only thing I can say on that is shame on you. Shame on anybody who kickstarted the game, because I promise you, way less than 10,000 games have been good, and way less than 10,000 games have ever been made. And frankly, just I don't feel like video games are the things that should be kickstarted. Honestly, there's more risk in making a video game and making it good than there is making something like a fidget cube, which was a pretty easy thing to think up and create. A pretty easy thing to get somebody in China to manufacture, versus a video game which is just this huge bundle of promises. That may or may not be satisfied by the time they say they're done with making a game. Let's see, discovered death rattle card.
Time to die.
I'll play this.
Here we go.
It'd be nice if I won here, but at the end of the day, I think I've already played the 20 cards I needed to play. But the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus is getting its first mod booster to include, and basically he's including fan mods. I kind of wonder about the legality of all of that, but I assume he either gets permission from the fans, or he's got something in the wording of when you make a mod, it belongs to him so he can sell it. I'm not sure. Let's see.
Here we go.
Attack this.
Again, so kind of you to join me.
After you cast a spell, summon a random thing, lose 1 durability. I don't think I'm gonna cast a spell, so that was kind of waste. Blizzard has announced that they're going to remaster StarCraft 1, and they're going to give away the original version. And so they're not open sourcing the original StarCraft, but they're giving it away for free, which is an interesting proposal for my channel in particular, because like I could, if I had time, I could see myself playing StarCraft 1, but then I kind of want to play the remaster. So at the end of the day, I think anybody that gets the original game is going to want to play the remastered version anyway for the better graphics. The graphics are going to be designed to 4K. I don't know if that means 4K native sprites or what. And it's going to have new audio, and it's going to have integrated Battle.net support. I have no desire to play StarCraft online against the pros, but I would like to go through the single player and cover it at some point in the future. And so, nice that it's getting remastered. Inherently, what this tells me, though, is that we'll probably eventually see, or pretty quickly even, see a remaster for Diablo 1. But we probably won't ever see a remaster for Warcraft, the original Warcraft games.
Here we go.
Behold the magnificent aerial command unit!
So, Yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna get that Warcraft remaster, which is kind of a shame, and I don't think we'll probably ever get that Warcraft point and click adventure game released that they found. So that'll just be one of the many unreleased games. I was watching a video on IGN, and let me know in the comments what you think about IGN. I'm desperately trying to find like new YouTubes, new podcasts, new news sources, and already I like on one podcast I was hearing them talk about things and saying things that I felt were factually inaccurate. Now, of course, inherently the issue, if I say, let me know in the comments about anything, the people that are going to bother to comment are going to be either passionately in love with or passionately hate that thing. But that's the best I can get, so I'll take it as far as a recommendation.
Here we go.
You rang.
Just do killing things.
Job's done.
And so what was I talking about, IGN? I don't know. March 30th is when you get the StarCraft single player. So Blizzard actually has 3 games for free to download right now anyways. So if you want to go download them, it's under their classic games section. And so and you're going to get the original StarCraft and Brood Wars expansion. So not a terrible, it's not like a terrible deal. It's just not going to be the enhanced graphics
Here
that you
we
would
go.
want. Summon the Jade Scorpion. And see, this next Jade Golem should be a different animation. See, when they become 4/4 Jade Golems, they're a little bit drawn differently.
I already attacked.
So From Software's president, Hidetaka Miyazaki, is not concerned about his next game being like Dark Souls. He just wants it to be interesting and worthwhile.
So many possibilities.
That's probably the response you'd get to a question that was almost certainly phrased, is your next game going to be like your previous game, Dark Souls? They just released Dark Souls final bit of DLC, as far as I understand it. And overall, I've heard everybody loves Dark Souls. I've played a little bit of Dark Souls and I enjoyed it fine, but I desperately needed an easy mode on it, and I didn't get to the ending, so inherently I failed at it.
Mistake.
Let's do this,
Here we
this,
go.
this, and this. And then the chain. A video game artist, and he the co-founder of System Era. What is his name? Paul Pepera, P-E-P-E-R-A. I hope I wrote that down right. Has died under undisclosed circumstances. Now, he seemed young, and but he does have more than a decades of experience working with id, Valve, and 343 Industries. He had a very, very short obituary, and he just died today. So there'll probably be more news about it if it's newsworthy. What's kind of interesting here is we haven't had a ton of people in the video game industry die. Like, I think the founder of Atari is still alive. This guy has decided to stop playing because he knows he's going to lose. But the president of Nintendo Japan recently died. But that's kind of all. That was weird. It brought up the timer twice. But I don't know very many other people that have died in the video game industry at all. And I'm talking even going back to '83 when the NES came out. So it's a small community as far as video game developers, and they probably don't announce it too big. It's probably doesn't make the biggest news, but I also just don't think a lot of people have died, and it doesn't seem like even the video game industry itself really thought anybody was gonna die by how short this obituary was. How can you really say somebody did that much anyways? Because if this guy is an artist, I imagine he was behind the scenes all the time, never at the forefront, never in front of the news. As long as he didn't say something controversial or in some other way get awarded with awards, or which there aren't that many awards handed out to individuals. So as long as he was just doing his job, he's not really going to have much to even have on his resume, let alone his obit. And that's exactly what happened here. Is that he worked with, he didn't even particularly work for, he lent out his work, as it was the phrase, I think, with id, Valve, and 343 Industries.
Bring out your dead.
Which, in 10 years, that means potentially, if you spent 3 years on 3 different games, you may have only worked on 3 games. Darn it, dropped my eraser. Erasable pen. Oh well, I'll just work from my own memory, or get my finger dirty and erase the things as I'm going that way. So yeah, nothing really to say about his death. Sad news, I suppose. I wish his obit was longer. I would definitely like to see anybody's obituary disclose more and say more. I'd like to know the circumstances, but if they're not going to say, I can only assume if the family's not disclosing that it's something slightly embarrassing. Because if it was just a heart attack or something like that, you would say, just so people don't wonder. Half the time you can just lie anyways, say it's a heart attack when it was really a drug-induced heart attack. I mean, but I'm not alleging anything there. I'm just saying you probably should disclose. PC Gamer, moving on to the next story, has given the GeForce GTX Ti a score of 92. Sorry for coughing. I am gonna cough more. I can already tell you that. That is totally gonna happen as I'm live streaming. And then, so I just think this is kind of ridiculous that you would give a score to a piece of hardware. I mean, how are you scoring this hardware? And for PC Gamer, am I supposed to compare that 92 for the piece of hardware to a 92 you would give to a game that are completely different things? Or am I supposed to take that 92 from the hardware and compare it to another piece of hardware? which doesn't really make that much sense either, because then when does that change? Did the, say, 980 get a 92 or less than a 92? Maybe the 980 got a 90. Does that mean I'm supposed to really believe that the 1080 Ti is only 2 points ahead of the 980? No, because times are changing and then the quality has done this. It has been improved.
Time to die.
Inherently, you might as well just adopt a sliding scale for all your reviews. Then you might as well just call the 1080 Ti, which is the top of the line video card right now, unless you're going to make an argument that that there's an AMD video card that's better, which, okay, that too is confusing, but arguably I would say the 1080 Ti is the best video card you can get. If you want anything better than that, you've got to get more 1080 Ti's. So why not just give that 100 points when it comes out, and then lower all the points of your previous scores? Because that's the only way that would ever make sense. Eventually, the very first NVIDIA video card that ever was reviewed needs to go down to 0 points, because there would be no reason whatsoever to ever buy that card. This is just not good comparison. It's just not a good way to compare things. What does this do? Copy, duplicate, infested totem. Eat it. Let's do this. And let's do this.
Here we go.
This. And this. And we'll go ahead and do that. So yeah, I don't understand that. I get why you rate a game by a number. I don't think the rating of games by a number are great, and I think a lot of people heavily rely on the Metacritic and numbers inappropriately, completely, because it really comes from this idea that there's an objective opinion, and there's just no such thing. It's impossible. It's a contradiction. Nobody's going to have an objective opinion. They're going to have subjective opinions. Either you're going to like the reviewer's opinion, so you should look at the name of the reviewer on the game more than even the site, and the site shouldn't impose some arbitrary number system to try to balance out games. Like, it's possible that I might say Minesweeper is a perfect game. Does that mean I think Minesweeper is better than The Witcher 3 if I said, say, The Witcher 3 is a near perfect game, but it has a few bugs here and there, a few flaws, which is fair. A fair way to say Witcher 3. It does have some bugs and flaws, but yeah, I would say it's a near perfect game. Does that mean I think Minesweeper is better than Witcher 3 and everybody should play Minesweeper and nobody should play Witcher 3? No, it doesn't. It doesn't really work that way. That's ridiculous. Sometimes people are going to want to play Minesweeper. Sometimes people are going to want to play Witcher 3. Ideally, at some point in your life, I would recommend people play
The
both.
menagerie is for guests only.
Let's see. This plus this plus this plus this.
Here we go.
This one, that one, and in return. Alright, let's see. I guess we've got to go another recording. So this will be our last game here. We've still got some news. This is strange. The live streaming is definitely stretching this out, but also I think probably what the case is previously I would just do a lot of stuff off screen. And see, I could say to myself, well, yeah, why not just play the rest of this off screen and do the warrior cards, but might as well do it on live stream and see what happens. This live stream so far has not been as successful as the previous ones, but then also as far as people in the chat, we haven't gotten anybody in the chat yet, but you know, frankly, I didn't schedule these things, and how can I really blame anybody but myself there? That's inherently what the issue is that if I had done this right, I would have scheduled things. Let's see. Interesting. Interesting turn of events there. Is he gonna kill me, or is he gonna play with me? I could play this and see what happens if he decides to give me a chance. But nope, he didn't want to give me a chance. So we're back to rank 20. Oh wow. In the end, we got the quest done, and that was the goal. So next time, we just need to play the remaining 24 warrior class cards in 30 minutes, and that shouldn't be too problematic. And since we're going to get 60 gold, we will be over 9,000. 9,005 gold. I don't know where I got that 5 gold from, and ever since I've had it, I've never been able to get rid of it. Anyways, if you're watching this live, please stay tuned. As if you're watching this recording, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.